outside today, it got up to 106, but inside, Phoenix Suns are ready for a big night of WNBA action. And good evening. Welcome to CBS Sports Network's continuing coverage of the WNBA, along with the Hall of Famer Ann Myers-Drysdale. I'm Jeff Mudd. It's the second of back-to-back games between the Chicago Sky and the Phoenix Mercury. The opener on Tuesday night, Ann, featured another one of those fabulous buzzer-beating shots we've seen a lot of in the WNBA this year.
I tell you, the play in the league this year has been so much fun to watch. And certainly with Kia Nurse, and Chicago looked like they had this game won. Just a few seconds left. Kia Nurse in the last two games now shooting over 52% from the three-point range, and this made it 5 of 9 from distance for Kia Nurse. And certainly I'm sure that Chicago was just devastated, but look at the Phoenix Mercury. They couldn't believe it, and certainly they've been through it with Diana Taurasi hitting a shot like that, and they are not immune to saying, we never give up.
Well, and the thing about it is it completed a massive late comeback for the Mercury. They were down 10 with 3.5 minutes to go, and Nurse's shot gave them their first lead in a long time in that game. So as you say, Ann, it was a devastating finish for Chicago. It's a different team tonight, though, because they get a couple of their regulars back into the lineup.
Right, Candace Parker's still out with that ankle injury, but Allie Quigley is back, who's an unbelievable shooter, and then also Stephanie Dolson. And Dolson coming off the Olympic 3-on-3 qualifying team, which they did qualify for the Olympics. And she always gives Brittany Griner trouble, and she has a career high here, and also has hit her career high three-pointers of 6.
And Chicago on a 5-game losing streak. They're in need of some luck because they've had a rough go of it. All 5 of those consecutive losses coming at home. Here are the starting lineups, and you will notice that Dolson is in the starting lineup this evening. Courtney Vandersloot, who has had a very steady and lengthy career in this league, might be having her best year as a professional this year. The Mercury starting lineup, there is Kia Nurse, and of course Brittany Griner. Diana Taurasi still out and will be out for a few more weeks with the injured sternum. Brianna Turner, Skylar Diggins-Smith. Watch for Diamond DeShields too. She had 26 points on Tuesday night in the game against the Mercury in Chicago. And this game is part of the WNBA Commissioner's Cup, which I know a lot of our fans are aware of in terms of the competition that will lead up to early August out of the Olympic break. And this game counts in those Commissioner's Cup standings. Brittany Griner greeting the opposition. Let's get to Ann's keys to tonight's game. And Ann, I know that back-to-backs are kind of interesting because it makes for an interesting setup in terms of how you adjust.
Well, everybody knows what they have to do. It's about execution, but for the Phoenix Mercury, they've got to get the ball to Griner. Griner only had 6 shots in that game. She got to the free throw line, but they've got the Mercury have to get the ball inside to her. And for Chicago, they've got to play their tough defense, force turnovers, as they force 21 turnovers against the Mercury and run the ball.
Griner with the opening shot that is short. Before the game, Sandy Brondello, Mercury head coach, was asked about what adjustments have to be made because of the additional players available for James Wade in the Sky. And she said, we're not going to adjust a whole lot. We know what they do. They know what we do. And there's a reverse layup up and in by Diamond DeShields.
Well, you certainly learned from the last game, and it's about offensive execution. They played well where they shot the ball well, 52%, but the Chicago Sky had 20 more shots, and they scored 31 points off those 21 turnovers.
A 3 partially blocked.
Yeah, Vandersloot with a block. That's her 5th of the season.
And she's got it and brings it into the offensive end. As we said, she is having a very strong year. Stephanie Dolson back in the lineup, knocks down the jumper.
And this is the big difference right here. You're starting Stephanie Dolson, and Dolson knows how to pop. She knows how to get to the basket. She sets great screens, talks, and then you've got Hebert coming off the bench.
And again, Chicago in transition with Vandersloot. Mercury right now starting the night 0 for 3 from the field.
Yeah, the Sky are very good on the perimeter as far as playing defense, and they've done it the last couple possessions against the Mercury.
A whistle away from the ball. And they call a foul on Megan Walker with the Mercury.
Well, for the Mercury, they cannot afford, Jeff, to get into foul trouble, especially early foul trouble. They had 4 or 5 players with 4 fouls, and Nurse had 5 in that last game. And certainly the Sky were not in foul trouble, and they got to the free throw line, and they made them. They were 19 of 20.
I was going to say, the other thing that's dangerous is the Sky is the league leader in the team free throw percentage. So you don't want to put them at the line very much. That ball knocked out of bounds by Walker, so the Sky will keep it. Chicago 2-5 to start the year. The Mercury 4-3. Talia Copper, Dolson with a follow.
Copper did a nice job on the scoop shot. She went right underneath Brittany Griner's arm. That left Skylar Diggins out to try and keep Dolson off the boards, and Dolson just tips it in. And that's what I love about the players. Instead of grabbing the rebound, which I love when they grab it with 2 hands, Dolson just goes up and tips it.
A foul on Copper, which is her first. Coaches talk so often about that, Ann, that when you grab an offensive board, don't bring it back down. Put it right back up immediately. And they're going to look at this because the foul occurred before the inbounds. So they're going to take a look at it here. We can mention very quickly that during tonight's telecast, we've got a very special guest. In the second quarter, we're going to visit with Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner of the WNBA. Had a chance to speak to Mercury fans before the game tonight. A lot of good things going on in the league, and we're looking forward to discussing them with the commissioner coming up in the second quarter of tonight's broadcast.
Yeah, she's been busy today. She had a Zoom call with all the media. She met beforehand, and Vince Kozar, and then also they met with the X Factors, and then after we're going to have her on it the second quarter, and then I get to interview her again at halftime.
That's right. So she's having a full day. Not really sure what it is that the officials are checking out, but whatever they looked at, they're done looking at it.
Well, so that means the foul.
It occurred before the inbound.
So the free throw will be by the Mercury, and Skylar Diggins missed a few free throws the other night. She did a great job getting to the line. She was 6 of 9.
On the year, she's shooting 80% from the line.
Just love that beautiful stroke. That ball goes high, so high.
And the Mercury will get to keep it as well. And it'll be Brianna Turner to inbound it.
This is the 3rd game for Diana Taurasi to be missing for the Mercury, and Skylar Diggins and really Sandy Brondello having to mix things up, putting Skylar Diggins at that point position.
Griner with a shot in the lane, up and in.
Well, she made a quick decision, even putting the ball on the floor. Chicago was not able to double and triple her up, and certainly Dolson playing more one-on-one against her than Griner had in that first meeting against the Sky.
That's good veteran instinct, isn't it? Not recognizing you're not going to get doubled. And a 3 attempt by Astu Dufall doesn't go.
That's a good hustle by Griner. She tipped it away from Copper, and again, this is a good offensive rebounding team for the Sky.
That's a part of Griner's game, I think, that hasn't gotten as much attention probably as it should, is her ability to keep the ball alive on the offensive end off a miss.
Astu Dufall getting called for the foul.
We'll take a look again at this play inside. Now you'll start to see that Astu Dufall comes over a bit, but not enough.
And that was a tough pass inside there, but it was a wide open lane to get that pass inside to Griner.
Kia Nurse. And that's blocked out of bounds by Dolson.
Now, Nurse was key for the Mercury in that first meeting against the Sky, where she was hot. She knocked down 2 3-pointers from the corner that put the Mercury up by 6 right away. And for her to get involved, I think, last couple of games, she's really been shooting the ball well.
Ball tipped away from Walker.
Yeah, not a good pass. Too congested.
And here comes Vandersloot for Chicago. And a three, not quite, and it goes out of bounds. There might be a foul, and I believe there will be.
Well, that last game, Skylar Diggins had 5 turnovers, and Kia Nurse had 4, along with Shea Petty with 3. So that, added up quite well. But it's when you're turning the ball over, too. It's a live ball, just not even a dead ball turnover.
That's a good point. The foul on Dolson, by the way, and that's her first. And Diggins Smith with the hoop in the lane.
And one of the reasons she gets to the free throw line so much is because of the fact that she gets in the lane.
There's an awful lot of points available when you drive. There's a three at the top that's around and off by DeShields, and a whistle on the rebound and another loose ball foul. This might be Dolson again.
No, it's a...
Nope, a Stu Dufall, and that's her second.
But a good screen out by Turner. And right now for the Mercury, not to get pushed underneath the basket, but to continue to move out from the basket and let the sky go over their backs.
Ruthie Hebert comes in for her, second-year player out of Oregon. Out here in the West, the fans here are very familiar with Ruthie Hebert. They saw a lot of her in college.
With Dolson missing that one game, Hebert has been in the starting lineup, and just, again, tough pass because that weak side is coming over to help out.
DeShields couldn't quite hang on to it, and it's taken out of there by Nurse. Diggins Smith gives back to Griner. Double team does come at her that time. And the rebound to Hebert.
And BG likes that face-up shot. She's missed a couple right now in this game. And the biggest thing is Dolson is keeping her out of the lane. Vandersloot
not able to get a shot off because the defense collapsed on her.
How about Vandersloot had 10 assists in that last game, and there's another one. Leads the league in assists, leads averaging per assist with 10 a game.
And she's got 2 assists already in the contest. Skylar Diggins Smith with the 3. And that evens things up. Copper has it knocked away, and Nurse has got a breakaway with one player to beat. And Hebert grabs the rebound.
Well, they're saying that Vandersloot hit the ball. Nurse was trying to draw the foul. She kind of slowed up a little bit, but another turnover by the Sky.
That was Copper on that last board, and they're going to call the blocking foul. Vandersloot with the foul as Nurse draws the contact. And we'll have free throws coming up when we get back from a break. Another close game here at Phoenix Suns Arena to start off, tied at 8. We'll go to the free throw line here. Skylar Diggins Smith, actually Kia Nurse, I beg your pardon, as she drew contact from Courtney Vandersloot.
Now this is a big plus for the Mercury right now in this first quarter, with the Sky having 5 fouls and only 1 foul for the Mercury. Skylar Diggins Smith getting her points. She's now 2 of 2 from the free throw line.
You know, you talk about the Taurasi injury. The way that this roster's been put together this year's second free throw is good. They can withstand an injury like that because they have so much depth in the backcourt.
Yes and no. It's Diana Taurasi.
Yeah, it's a little better when Diana Taurasi's out there, but just the same. Allie Quigley on the court, making her first appearance after missing time due to a hamstring injury. Mercury have Sophie Cunningham out there right now.
Oh, good hands by Diggins Smith, getting a touch on that ball.
And here is Cunningham out of Missouri. Down low to Griner.
Well, that high-low should work for the Mercury right now. Yeah, Diana's 6 points away from 9,000 points in this league.
You're right. Griner, by the way, has passed the 4,000 mark in scoring.
A nice drive by Copper, all by herself on the baseline.
Turner sets a screen. And Cunningham with the reverse that doesn't go. And Dolson the rebound for Chicago.
Yeah, Sophie likes that shot, that little reverse.
Three at the top doesn't go, but right there for the follow is Kalia Copper. Copper, 4 points in the early going. Dolson with 6 to lead the Sky. There it is again to Brittany Griner.
Now, BG's got those long arms, and Dolson, I mean, she can jump to 6'5", but when you get a pass like that from Turner, and they're really connecting those two, Griner and Turner, as far as the passes and looking for each other.
Both been very effective inside on the defensive end. Griner always is. And the shot clock was running down, and the shot doesn't go. Diggins Smith.
Yeah, just pushing things, which is what the Mercury want to do. And you've got Dana Evans into the game, the rookie from Louisville, an All-American. Was traded just yesterday.
From Dallas.
Yeah, Shyla Heel went over there, who was a rookie out of Australia.
Ruthie Hebert with that last hoop for Chicago. And the Sky back within 2. Yeah, there's been a lot of changes on the Chicago roster from just Tuesday when the two teams met at Wintrust Arena.
2 minutes remain in the first quarter. 2 minutes.
Griner gets it, and she'll go to the line.
Well, that's where she can be so effective in trying to get the X factor into this game and drawing herself, getting herself to the free throw line, I think, is a big part of her game. And a nice pass inside by Cunningham. And Dolson getting good positions, but the arms come over a little bit. And Griner does a great job making the contact.
That's the second foul on Dolson, so we'd expect she is going to come out. Griner on the year, 85% at the line. When you've got a big that can shoot in the 80s, you're going good.
Oh, way to go,
and
Jeff.
Sure enough, she
Way
misses the free throw. The Mun curse, kicking right into gear.
Loose ball foul on 9, Sophie Cunningham. That's her first.
Foul on Cunningham. That is her first.
In the last 2 minutes.
Vandersloot will come back in for Chicago. Vandersloot, I always remember seeing her in college at Gonzaga when she played for Kelly Graves, who obviously is now at the University of Oregon. Here is Azura Stevens, who gives it to Allie Quigley. And Quigley knocks it down from about 10 feet.
Yeah, Quigley, this is new for her coming off the bench. And the last 4 years, she has started every game, and she's a 2-time Sixth Player of the Year. But now with Candace Parker on the team, had to make some changes.
And a pass too high for Shea Petty, and Chicago gets it back.
As a matter of fact, they had to trade Gabby Williams, who was a big, young, talented player that went to the LA Sparks in order to
battling an ankle injury, and we're under the assumption that it got worse because Tuesday night she was listed as probable for the game against the Mercury. There's Vandersloot with one that doesn't go and Petty to rebound. Tonight she is listed as just completely out. There will be no Candace Parker playing this evening. So that ankle injury must have gotten worse in practice. Chicago gets it back.
And they will play LA in 2 days.
Yeah, this is a 2-game road trip for the Sky. Interestingly, both of these teams are looking for their first win at home. The Sky just finished a 5-game homestand where they did not get a win. Mercury, this is their 3rd home game of the year. Quigley has it blocked by Cunningham. And it went off Quigley, apparently.
Cunningham staying very active on the defensive end. And again, you know, we talked about Quigley coming back, and Azure Stevens has been back, but both of those are on time-limited minutes. And so you wonder their conditioning and their timing with their teammates.
Azure Stevens out of UConn. Number of UConn players in this game tonight, which is just about standard operating procedure most WNBA games, it seems. And a steal from Hebert. And Quigley, layup is short, and the rebound to Kia Vaughn.
Now, Megan Walker was very lucky on that. Just telegraphed her pass, and you can't. The defense knows what you're running, so it behooves you to make ball fakes.
Final 10 seconds. Petty's got it way out high. They better hurry. And the quarter comes to an end. So the Mercury and Sky keep it close. Mercury lead by 2, and we'll be joined by the commissioner of the WNBA in just a moment. We go to the second quarter here at Phoenix Suns Arena with the Mercury leading by 2, and we are very excited to have with us as our special guest the commissioner of the WNBA, Kathy Engelbert, who's had a very busy day. You've been making appearances, talking to fans. You got another appearance coming up in a few minutes. So we're just thrilled that you had a few minutes to come join us.
Well, it's great to be here in Phoenix, and you have it nice and hot for me here compared to what I came from. So.
But nice and cool inside.
Yes, very cool.
I know you've been asked a lot of questions, same questions today, but talk a little bit about this season compared to last year with COVID, and we know that there's still protocol going on, but the ability to be in everybody's arena.
Right. First, it warms my heart to hear fans cheer when a basket is taken. I think I attended like 30 straight games in the bubble last year, but 25th season, Annie, as you know, is a legend in this game, and it's so exciting to watch the pace of the play on the court. It's been great.
One thing that I've noticed early on in this new season, the 25th season of the league, the balance, the competitive balance has been tremendous. Games are close and competitive. We were talking to the Open about Kia Nurse's buzzer beater on Tuesday. There's been a whole bunch of those, too.
Yeah, we've had a variety of very fast finishes at the end, a couple of overtime victories, so it's really been competitive, and you see it, the pace on the court, and that's one of the reasons we wanted to do the Commissioner's Cup this year, because that adds a intensity to the first half of the season that you otherwise might not be playing for a $500,000 prize pool. So.
And explain to fans that haven't heard about what the Commissioner's Cup is and why and where and how it came about.
Commissioner's Cup was a commitment we made as part of collective bargaining with the players a couple years ago when, basically we wanted to do a competition within a season. It's the first 10 games against your division, your conference opponents. So the best record in the first half of the season in these 10 Commissioner Cup games per team will play for a $500,000 prize pool coming off the Olympic break. Wow. So it's exciting, and it's, again, intensity is picked up, I think.
And that the finals will be here.
It'll be here in Phoenix, right here at the arena.
So your second year as commissioner, a lot of things we're dealing with last year with the social injustice, and I mean the women in the WNBA have just been amazing, but I want to talk about your relationship with all the different partners, whether it's Wilson with the new ball, whether it's Nike, whether it's Deloitte, whether it's the betting, there are so many partnerships that you have developed in the short time you've been here.
Yeah, Andy, it's such an interesting ecosystem. I came from many years in business, and now to work with that ecosystem, whether it's legalized sports betting, whether it's at Google, who, we just signed as a WNBA changemaker, which is amazing to partner with them, Deloitte, Nike, AT&T has been a great supporter, and just, the momentum you get from talking about what the players stand for on the court, the highest level of play, the best at their craft in the world, and then their activities off the court about how smart these women are and how effective they are with their platforms, whether it's social justice or advocating for breast health awareness or whatever the issue is. These players are really impressive.
So a quick timeout from the Chicago Sky as the Mercury get out to a 7-point lead here at Phoenix Suns Arena. Back at Phoenix Suns Arena, and we continue our visit with WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. I know one of the questions, and you probably get asked this everywhere you go in the league, because I've seen a lot of discussion about this on social media, and that's expansion. You know that things are going good if people are clamoring, we want a team.
Right, and the chatter on social media is great about the cities that everybody wants to see a WNBA team in. And so, it is a very positive signal of the strength of the league, and, basically when you have this depth and breadth where really good players are being waived from teams because there's not roster spots. And, that was part of the collective bargaining as well, is to keep the roster's size where it is, but also put in free agency, an interesting free agency period we just came off of, and definitely expansion will be something that we're considering down the road.
And working with FIBA, because a lot of players go overseas.
Yeah, so FIBA, but that's one thing where the pandemic, I would have hoped to have been over. They're building those relationships, talking about how the season overlap is a challenge for us and for them, I'm sure, as well, because there are WNBA players that come back, before those seasons are over. So that'll be an important relationship going forward once we can reestablish international travel.
The other thing I think that is a real positive, and I know that the ratings for the draft were really strong, and I think it's a signal of the connection between the WNBA and women's college basketball here in the U.S. The numbers for college games continue to go up. And fans, I think, are really enjoying the fact that they know the college players and they're excited to see them move into the pro ranks.
That's exactly right. The NCAA women's tournament this year was so exciting, has such great viewership, and yes, those players then get drafted into the WNBA, and you see the excitement, you see the followership that you have. We have to do better in integrating that. With limited fans at the Final Four this year, we didn't get a chance to be there to, kind of network, but, that's something definitely as we come off this pandemic, we'll be integrating better with the NCAA.
And talk just about the Olympics coming up. And, Pat Summitt was the first player coach to win medals. And then we had Ann Donovan coach and play in the Olympics. Now we got Dawn Staley, who played in the WNBA and also played in the Olympics, and now is going to be the coach.
Yeah, that's a great story. And just the women's national team, the USA women's national team, going for their 7th consecutive gold medal. We also have a 3x3 team, a 3-on-3 team that just qualified first time for that sport in the Olympics. It's the #1 most popular urban sport. So I think women and girls basketball is very alive and strong. There's 6 million girls between the ages of 8 and 18 that play basketball in the United States. So, that's all momentum. And Dawn, is going to be such a great coach of that USAB team. And, we're hoping for that 7th consecutive gold medal.
So many positive things going on in women's basketball and the WNBA in particular, and a lot of it due to your leadership. We really appreciate you coming and joining us, Kathy. And Commissioner, I should use your title, although you don't mind being called Kathy.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. I prefer it. Kathy,
but in any event, thank you so much for being with us, for coming to the Valley. We tried to keep it as cool as possible for you outside.
Yeah, and I'll be back for the Commissioner's Cup.
That's right.
Which is coming right off the Olympic break in mid-August.
That's right.
We'll be back here at Phoenix Arena.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert joining us for a few moments, and as she said, the WNBA Commissioner's Cup will be here at Phoenix Suns Arena in August. This game remains close with the Mercury, who had a 7-point lead at the last time out. It's down to a 1-point lead as we come under 6 minutes to go here in this first half.
Well, the Mercury shooting 39% from the floor, and the Sky 45.5, out-rebounding the Mercury 12-9. And off their 10 field goals, they've got 8 assists.
Looking at the numbers, Vandersloot has 3 of those assists. Leading scorer, Dolson with 6. She's got the ball right now, guarded by Griner. There's a 3 that doesn't go, and Skylar Diggins-Smith the rebound for the Mercury.
Well, the Mercury have done a pretty good job in forcing the Sky to take the outside shots, and Sandy Brondello talked about clogging things up.
Diggins-Smith with the hoop there, and it's back to a 3-point lead.
Yeah, Skylar in double figures with 12 points.
Here's Dolson. Hands it off to Copper, and a whistle before the drive. And they call an offensive foul on Dolson. Dolson was on limited minutes before the game. She's going to have her minutes really limited now because she's got her 3rd foul.
Well, and that's why she's limited, because I tell you, she's in shape. I watched the 3-on-3, and they went 6-0 in that qualifying tournament over in Austria. And she made the last basket against Spain. And I tell you, that team is tough. They got Samuelson from Seattle, Gray from Dallas, and Plum from Las Vegas. And you got 2 lefties in Gray and Plum. And boy, and it's fun. It's fast. You got to play 12 seconds, and either you got to play within 10 minutes or get the 12 seconds, or the first to 21. Boy,
There's a shot from Nurse that doesn't go.
Yeah,
in some traffic.
Nurse could not get her balance, and she's only got 2 points. Coming into this game, she was shooting over 50%. She's 0 of 5 from the floor.
She's got it on the right side. Griner couldn't quite hang on to that pass.
Now that's the 8th turnover for the Mercury.
And that's one thing that Sandy Brondello before the game tonight was really touching on, saying we've got to keep those turnovers down to a minimum.
Well, I still think that the Mercury, and with a lot of teams, that they're still trying to figure each other out. And I thought Diggins made a nice pass in the sense trying to lead Griner, but she couldn't get her the ball.
Diggins-Smith got a bit trapped and couldn't make the shot. Griner had to follow, but a whistle beforehand.
Skylar Diggins asking to come out right now, and she got stuck down there low and put Griner in a tough situation. Griner picking up her first foul.
Returning for the Sky, number 14, Allie Quigley.
Allie Quigley comes back in for the Sky, and Sophie Cunningham back in for the Mercury. You're talking about that 3-on-3 tournament. There were a lot of highlights on social media the last few games, especially Kelsey Plum knocking down shots all over the place, which she has a tendency to do.
Well, I tell you, it's and Dolson, usually a lot of the teams don't play with a tall player, and Dolson, with her size, she creates so many pick and rolls for her teammates, and just her rebounding ability too, but just a tough defensive player.
Yeah, you talked about the speed of the 3-on-3. That kind of setup would not emphasize size as much, would it?
Well, I love the fact that they got, nice pass.
That is
Griner
a nice pass.
Yeah.
The Turner making the hoop.
And Griner avoiding the charge, but getting back to the 3-on-3, first time in the Olympics, and the men did not qualify for the United States. Copper goes down, and
there's going to be a foul on Brianna Turner.
gets up slowly.
It's the 4th team foul against Phoenix this quarter. So the Sky will have the bonus for the remaining 3 minutes. Let's take a look at that last hoop by Turner.
Well, Nurse makes a nice pass as Griner was wide open as she released. And when the defense came up on her, she did a nice job avoiding the charge and with a nice little pass to Turner.
Ruthie Hebert. And the rebound to Nurse. Hebert did not, in her college career at Oregon, she was pretty much a low post offensive threat. Didn't shoot a lot from outside. And we got a foul, and we also have a timeout. And the Mercury maintaining a 5-point lead with under 3 minutes to go first half. In celebration of LGBTQ plus pride, presented by Deloitte, the WNBA will collaborate with Geeson and Fanatics on an exclusive line of Pride apparel, including Fanatics branded WNBA t-shirts. All WNBA proceeds will benefit Geeson, and fans can purchase the shirts at WNBAstore.nba.com. And we get back to action with a 5-point Mercury lead. Pass too high for Griner. There's another turnover.
Yeah, the perimeter players for the Mercury really having a tough time to get that pass, but a big block by Turner.
Turner and Griner 1-2 in the lead. Actually, Turner is leading the league. Griner's 4th in block shots. Vandersloot just inside the arc.
Well, that's Turner's 20th block this season.
And the Sky will keep it. Tell you one thing that's working in the Mercury's favor so far. The Sky has not gone to the free throw line yet. Let's look back at that block by Brianna Turner.
Turner does such a great job using her body. She's a jumper, and she uses either arm to block the shot.
A whistle as Quigley got off the shot. I believe it's...
Yeah, Cunningham really struggling. She's got picking up her 3rd foul. 8 minutes. I mean, she's been really aggressive.
I think James Wade wanted continuation on that.
James Wade was the 2019 Coach of the Year in the WNBA.
The previous play is currently under official video review.
We've got a timeout. We'll keep it right here with the Mercury up 5. And we'll take a moment to look at things that are going on around the WNBA. There's been quite a bit of news in the league the last several days, as a matter of fact. In Seattle, and I was surprised when I saw this. Dan Hughes retired. Noelle Quinn takes over as the head coach. WNBA Players of the Month awarded. Jones of Connecticut, Stewart of Seattle. This is Pride Month, and the WNBA taking part. The Liberty's Walt Hopkins was named WNBA Coach of the Month.
Well, and Dan Hughes, I mean, for him to retire, I know he's had some health issues in the past, but, you know, it was time. And the Storm are 6-1 right now. Noelle Quinn, who played here in Phoenix and played with several teams in the WNBA, was from UCLA, and she's been coaching her high school team going back to LA. So it's not like she hasn't been a head coach, but certainly under the tutelage of Dan Hughes and Kloppenberg,
Gary Kloppenberg,
being named the head coach, I think is a big plus for the league and for the Seattle Storm.
Astu Dufall. This is the first trip to the line tonight for Chicago.
And the Mercury are only 3 of 4.
And the second one good, and as we said, the Sky leading the league nearly 90% from the line as a team. And we come toward the 2-minute mark in what has been a close and competitive first half. Petty goes underneath to Kia Nurse.
Petty held on to the ball just enough. She took an extra dribble to make that cut. She drew the defense, and Nurse gets her first basket.
Quigley back to Vandersloot, who comes around a Hebert screen. And Quigley in the corner. Griner with the rebound. That's her third. Here's Nurse for 3.
And she's now 1 of 2 from three-point range.
And this is the Mercury's biggest lead so far in this contest at 8 points. Dufall with a 3 that doesn't go, and Griner gets her 4th rebound.
Well, certainly Diamond DeShield not being the player that she was the other night, where she was so effective driving to the basket, knocking down outside shots, so active.
At 26 points in that game on Tuesday night in Chicago. Nurse got it. And the lead is 10 as we come under a minute to go in this first half. And a whistle, and I believe Chicago's going to take another timeout. As we mentioned, the Sky has just hit a stretch of bad luck, basically. A lot of injuries. The key one, of course, being Candace Parker. You see Diana Taurasi there with her Mercury teammates. Let's take a look at the upcoming games that you can see on television on the as the WNBA continues play. Doubleheader on Saturday on ABC with Las Vegas at Washington. They're on an Eastern road trip at the moment. The Chicago team will go to Los Angeles. Then Wednesday night here on CBS Sports Network, a doubleheader. Indiana, the Fever will play at Chicago. And the Dallas Wings come here to Phoenix. You can get all the information on the WNBA schedule at WNBA.com. And again, you got a doubleheader to look forward to on Saturday. Diggin Smith leading the Mercury in scoring with 12. Dolson continues to be the leading scorer for Chicago with 6, but again with 3 fouls. It's obviously not going to finish out the half on the floor. Griner with 4 rebounds. Copper with 4 for Chicago. Mercury are +2 in rebounding to this point. And it'll be Vandersloot to inbound it. And she gets it back from Hebert. Coppard goes out to Vandersloot, and I don't believe that drew iron. Either way, the shot clock expired, and the Mercury get it back. And obviously, that was a shot clock violation from where they're inbounding it. And here is Diggins Smith. Skylar, as we said, 12 points, 5 of 7 from the field in this first half. About a 2-second difference between the game and possession clock. Smith, short, and the rebound goes out of bounds, and Chicago will get it. And with 6.1 seconds left, plenty of time to get down the floor and get off a good shot. And it'll be Vandersloot. And she got it. They're going to probably take a look at it, but from our vantage point, it sure looked like she got the shot off in time. So it will be an 8-point Mercury lead at the end of this first half. Coming up at halftime, we'll have Allie Quigley's journey to becoming the Sky's all-time leading scorer. Mercury lead it at the half, 34-26 on CBS Sports Network. Back at Phoenix Suns Arena, the beauty of the desert on a summer evening. That, of course, outside. Inside, it's not looking too bad either for Mercury fans. The X Factor enjoying a 8-point Phoenix lead. Skylar Diggins Smith leading the way in scoring with 12 points. And we take a look at how she scored those 12 points in this first half. Moving the ball effectively. Also had a couple of rebounds in that first half. The Mercury shooting 45% from the field in the first 20 minutes to Chicago's 33%. And the other thing, they're +2 in rebounding. And they managed to stay out of a lot of foul trouble, Ann, in terms of they didn't allow Chicago to get to the line very much. Neither team shot a lot of free throws. As you see there, the Mercury only went to the line 4 times. But as I tell you, the one number that jumps out at you there is the three-point numbers for Chicago, 2 of 15.
Yeah, they're not a great three-point shooting team. I mean, they can knock them down, but certainly they are really struggling with their offense tonight. And give credit to the defense of the Mercury, but the Mercury are being very efficient in the shots that they're taking. And 3 of 6 from three-point range, which means they're looking to get inside. They've got 22 points in the paint.
So an 8-point lead, as we mentioned in the first half. Neither one of these teams has won a home game as of yet. Of course, the Sky would like to keep that going in terms of keeping the Mercury from winning a home game. And Chicago opens with possession to start quarter number 3. Both teams going with their starting fives. And a whistle and an offensive foul. And I think that's Stephanie Dolson, and she's got 4 fouls now.
Yeah, she's limping too coming out of that. She only played 15 games last year. A lot of that had to do with COVID. She had caught COVID and her family had caught COVID, but she's had some ankle problems. She was in a boot a lot of the time.
Different reasons.
Turner missed that layup, but boy, she made a nice little ball fake against Stevens and had the wide open layup. But, you know, when you don't get the angle sometimes and using the backboard, it's going to come off straight.
Vandersloot, 5 points in the first half.
Well, the big thing, too, she's only got 3 assists.
Yeah.
She had a game this year where she had 16, and it just shows you how good her teammates are, too, finishing those shots.
Stu Dupont will go back to the free throw line. She had the only 2 free throw attempts for Chicago in the first half. Like so many Sky players, she's shooting 95%. There's a number of players for Chicago at 90% or better from the line.
Well, that's why the Mercury want to keep them off the line.
She gets them both here. So the lead is 6. And here is Diggins-Smith to Griner.
Griner's got to finish those. Early in the season, she missed quite a few of those shots coming back from Russia. Had such a good season over there.
Dufall with the 3. And Sandy Brondello, a quick timeout to kind of settle her team down a little bit as that lead is down to 3. Myers Drysdale back at Phoenix Suns Arena as that 3 by Astu Dufall cuts it down to a 3-point Mercury lead, and we'll see how they respond here out of the timeout.
Yeah, she's only a 22% three-point shooter. That's her 5th one she's made this season.
And they respond with a hoop from Megan Walker.
Yeah, what a clutch shot for Walker. That's only her 5th also, but she shoots 19% from three-point range. Just getting her confidence up.
Copper back out to Stevens, whose 3 doesn't go. And back comes Phoenix, leading by 6. And Nurse loses it. Vandersloot picks it up, ahead to Copper. Blocked from behind by Griner.
BG doesn't give up on the play.
As we mentioned, 3rd in the league in block shots. And a foul there. And that'll be Megan Walker.
Well, that steal by Vandersloot, that was her 14th. She's one of the top players in the league with steals. And again, going straight in, just not getting much of an angle. And Griner stays with it.
Copper, the free throw line. She too over 90% at the stripe. The thing that gets me, and when you watch, like we saw the Griner block, it shows you her athleticism, that she can block shots but doesn't foul. Because, you know, a lot of times when you have contact, you almost anticipate that there's going to be a foul, and there wasn't any contact on that. It was just a nice, clean block.
Well, and that was on the left side, so she was able to use her right hand going at the person with the left hand. And there's a great steal by Diamond DeShields as Griner brings it down, holding her thumb.
Vandersloot for 3. And the rebound to Megan Walker. DeShields, as Ann pointed out, very quiet first half after scoring 26 on Tuesday. Vandersloot, a length of the floor pass. Copper has it blocked by Turner. Stevens doesn't get it. And it'll be Mercury ball. I think Vandersloot was anticipating that Chicago was going to get it. That's why she let it go.
Well, Turner, she's talk about intimidation back there at 6'3", and her ability to jump and block shots. And the Sky really were unsure on where to go and try and get a clean shot.
And another whistle. And they call that on a Stu Dufall.
Well, Griner is trying to get position, and Dufall is just, banging her, and she wasn't pleased with the call.
3rd foul.
There's a great block by Turner. I mean, she just is uncanny as far as where the ball is and where to put her hand.
Griner to Walker. And that does not go. But the Mercury keep it, courtesy of Skylar Diggins-Smith. And Walker a second try. That doesn't go. And Hebert grabs the rebound for Chicago.
Yeah, I think the backboard blocked her. But certainly the Sky have picked up their defensive intensity.
Yes.
And they're doubling Skylar Diggins, trying to get the ball out of her hands.
She's got it now, bumped at the baseline, and they're going to call the foul on Vandersloot. That's her second.
Well, we mentioned that Sloot had 10 assists and 17 points in that last game. That was her 59th double-double for the Sky.
She said she's had a very consistent, steady professional career, but her numbers this year.
Well, when she was in 3rd grade, she wrote a paper saying she wanted to play in the WNBA. But she grew up playing soccer and wanted to go to North Carolina and play like Mia Hamm.
Oh, really?
Then she goes to Gonzaga, didn't get recruited a lot, and meets John Stockton.
Hebert for the putback.
Hebert was so good at Oregon. You talked about her rebounding. And she led the Pac-12, the all-time leader in field goal percentage at 65%.
Such a shame that she and Sabrina Ionescu and Satu Sabali didn't get a chance to play in a Final Four, because they certainly would have gotten there last year. Diggins Smith.
Well, and Sabali, who's with Dallas and sat out most of the year with an injury, but she played with the German 3-on-3 team trying to qualify for the Olympics. And then Sabrina Ionescu having a terrific season for the New York Liberty.
Azurá Stevens' 3 has put Chicago in front.
Another 3-point shot coming alive for the Sky.
Diggins Smith around a Griner screen to Walker. Nurse fakes the 3, gets the layup.
Well, right now, defensively, the Sky are spreading out the offense for the Mercury. So the Mercury, you can see that they're going to have wide open lanes getting in there.
Copper is fouled on the way up. And that's going to go against Megan Walker.
Yeah, Walker.
And that's Walker's 4th.
Yeah, she had fallen down and tried to get back up and just couldn't get defensive position again. And Copper's done a nice job getting herself to the free throw line. She's 2 of 2 right now.
Sky as a team are 6 of 6.
Into the game for the Mercury, number 5,
Shea Petty will come back in for Kia Nurse.
Copper, who played her college days at Rutgers for C. Vivian Stringer, and she was a number 7 pick out of Washington in 2016. And in 2017, after her rookie year, she and Stephanie Dolson were traded to Chicago for Elena Deladon.
Back to a 1-point Chicago lead. Petty with a 3 that's short, and Stevens has the rebound. And that rebounding stat is just about dead even. Mercury with 21 boards, Sky with 20.
Well, certainly a low-scoring game, but Chicago's really grinding things out right now, and the Mercury do not look good in this 3rd quarter.
No. Walker couldn't save it from going out of bounds. They're going to reset the possession clock.
In their last game that they met the other night, the Mercury in that 3rd quarter came out with 14 points.
They had that furious rally at the end, capped off by Kia Nurse's buzzer beater. But they were down 10 with the Mercury with 3.5 minutes left. Quigley to Stevens. And Azurá Stevens is really making a difference for Chicago in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, she is at 6'6". I mean, she's so long, and she was the number 6 pick in 2018 by Dallas and had some injuries, and, and they shipped her off to Chicago.
Griner doesn't get the shot just right of the lane, and Vandersloot another rebound.
And that's a key right there. The Sky are doing a nice job on the boards right now and getting the offensive looks.
Quigley might have rushed that a bit, and Cunningham the rebound for Phoenix.
And even if Allie Quigley has been working out and getting healthy, it's different when you're in a game. The pace is different, the physicality is different. Well, there's a tee. Oh, she let it go. I thought Skylar Diggins-Smith was going to get one. Now,
Hebert fouled from behind by Diggins-Smith.
Now, Petty right there, all she had to do was take the foul. And she turned her body as Vandersloot was going in, and Vandersloot's able to get the shot off, and Diggins-Smith not happy with the call, no call on one end, and she came down and made the foul, but
That's the first foul. They're going to go look at it.
Well, it's a push.
Yeah, it was a pretty hard foul. And Cheryl Flores, the lead official tonight of this WNBA crew.
The ruling on the floor is a common foul. The previous play is currently under official video review for a
Diggins Smith had 12 points in the first half, and she still has 12 points. And so some frustration.
Here's another look at the foul.
She came running back, and it's a good push.
As you mentioned, she wasn't too happy with the no call at the other end, and you wonder if there was a little frustration at work.
Well, right now, the Sky are chipping away, and their bench has got 14 points off the bench with 3 assists and 13 rebounds from their bench players. And there are no points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists for the Mercury.
The call stands as a common foul. There will be free throws as Hebert was in the act of shooting.
Now the media had asked Sandy Brondello, which she gets asked every year when they play Chicago, and her husband Olaf Lang is on the Sky side as an assistant coach, and Sandy Brondello and he have coached together for years, and one was the head coach, one was the assistant coach, and Sandy played for him when she played in Germany. She was the first Australian to leave Australia, their league there, and go over and play in Germany. And she was fortunate enough, we were fortunate enough in this league, the WNBA, to see her play when she played in Detroit, Miami, and San Antonio.
She was saying before the game tonight, we'll keep the family thing out of it. We both want to win. We'll keep it competitive. 3 by Walker goes over the cylinder.
But good run down by Griner, and BG gets her second dunk of the season.
She had one Saturday night in Dallas and gets one here.
She just didn't hesitate, and I think that's a big difference too, that she's looking to go to get it, where lots of times there were hesitations.
Stevens might have rushed it, but gets her own rebound. And Copper is fouled. And it's getting a little intense.
Well, and give credit to the Sky. I mean, they have been the aggressors in this third quarter. That looked like a clean block right there on the replay that we got to see, but Griner taking the baseline and going right at the basket.
There's your highlight reel play. And Copper to the free throw line. And she misses one. So the last 2 times at the line, the Sky have missed a free throw. So they're now 9 of 11 for the game. And a lot of those trips to the line have come here in the third quarter.
Yeah, the Sky have done a nice job as far as not only boards, but slowing things down to get to the free throw line. And now 13 fouls on the Mercury.
And a 3-point Chicago lead. Cunningham out top to Nurse. And it's taken out of there by Chicago. Quigley. Evans picked up from Dallas in a trade yesterday, and the pass for Quigley tipped out of bounds.
Evans is a player who played at Louisville for Jeff Walls and was the 6th player of the year in the ACC, and is the only player in the ACC for him that has gone from a 6th player of the year to 2-time player of the year.
Stevens blocked by Turner. And they're going to say the shot clock expired and the Mercury will get it back.
Big break for the Mercury and not giving up on the defensive end. We don't have a count on blocks for Turner.
We know Griner has one. I think Turner's got 3. And the Mercury looking to cash this in. Whistle away from the ball.
Now, Stevens had 5 fouls in the last time they met, but a majority of the time she was defending BG.
That's the first foul on Azurá Stevens. Petty will inbound it. Nurse back to Turner. Right around Stevens for the layup.
Well, for Turner, that's only her 3rd shot, and she came back from Russia talking about she needed to be more confident in being aggressive in scoring, looking for her shot. It sure will help her teammates out and open things up for them if she is more aggressive on the offensive end.
Copper for a 3. Talia Copper. And the Sky, who had struggled with the 3-point shot in the first half, the numbers are improving a little bit here in the 3rd quarter. Cunningham misses the layup. Stevens the rebound. Down court to Copper, who lays it in.
Well, that's where they're so good on the defensive rebounds, and they get out and push the basketball. They are 2nd in rebounding.
This 3rd quarter has been all Chicago, and they have equaled their biggest lead of the night. Petty. And Hebert's got it, and Chicago can go for the last shot of the quarter.
Now, the Sky have really done a good job as far as controlling the tempo. They were making shots, which made it difficult for the Mercury to get into any kind of running game, and they're crashing the boards.
A 22-9 Chicago scoring advantage at this point. A whistle on the drive. And they're going to call that on Shea Petty. And the Mercury over the team foul limit. It was in the act of shooting anyway, but Dana Evans will go to the free throw line.
Now, the discrepancy right there, and the Mercury have not gotten to the free throw line in this quarter. They were 3 of 4, which they were in the first half, and now 11 of 13 for the Sky. Make that 12 of 14.
And Petty in back court. And not quite. So the Sky dominant in this 3rd period, scoring 25 points after scoring 26 in the first half. But the Mercury had a highlight too, courtesy of Brittany Griner. And the Sky with an 8-point lead with 10 more minutes of basketball left to play here in Phoenix. We go to the 4th quarter here at Phoenix Suns Arena. I'll tell you, and the 3rd quarter tonight, very much like the 3rd quarter Tuesday in Chicago. You pointed out the Sky outscored the Mercury in the 3rd quarter Tuesday night, 25-14. Tonight, they nearly equaled their first half scoring in 1 quarter alone.
And even in that first half, Jeff, I really thought that the Mercury should have had a bigger lead. They played like they were having a bigger lead, but the Sky stayed right with them. They didn't panic, and another steal, and Vandersloot is so quick with those hands.
Works around a Hebert screen. And they might have gotten Hebert for an offensive foul, and they did.
Offensive foul, number 24, Ruthie Hebert, her 2nd.
Vandersloot had 5 steals against the Mercury in that first meeting.
Sophie Cunningham opens the quarter. Comes around a Griner screen. Tried to get it into Turner, but it's knocked away and picked up by Vandersloot, and a foul on Cunningham in back court.
And number 13 turnover for the Mercury. And the big difference in that 3rd quarter was how the Sky out-rebounded them. They are out-rebounding them 31-23, and just really flipped things around in that 3rd quarter.
Megan Walker comes back in for Cunningham as Sophie picked up her 4th foul just a moment ago. Diamond to Shields to Allie Quigley for 3, and the Sky lead is 11.
Well, we said that the Mercury, they were 3 of 6 from three-point range. They were 1 of 6 in the second half. So somebody's got to get hot for them.
Nurse drives, doesn't get the shot. It was blocked, but she draws the foul.
Well, that's a tough call. James Wade not happy. But that's a big break for Kia Nurse.
That foul on Hebert, and she's picked up 2 quick fouls here. Now has 3 on the night. Nurse 2 for 2 at the stripe so far. One of 3 Phoenix players in double figures.
Yeah, with the 12 points, but she's been kind of quiet. 4 of 11 from the floor, 1 of 3 from three-point range, and misses that free throw.
And DeShields has got it. Again, DeShields very quiet tonight. 2 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists after 26 points on Tuesday night.
Well, and nice pass.
Yes. Do fall off the pass from Allie Quigley.
Well, Quigley just being very patient and just drew all the black jerseys towards her. Nice pass.
Underneath it goes to Turner off a great pass, as you mentioned, from Skylar Diggins-Smith.
Yeah, and that's Skylar's first assist of the game.
Quigley. And right there for the rebound is Turner. Walker.
That's a tough pass. I mean, you've got to come off that pick and have the defense come at you. The defense was all on. Both players went to Brittany Griner. You've got to look for your shot. And I know that the play is set up. Yeah, you want to get the ball to Brittany Griner, but if the defense falls on her with 2 players, you've got to be confident enough to want to take that shot.
That foul was on Diamond DeShields.
Now, a very quiet game for her. She's 1 of 4, 2 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound.
Really odd, considering the game she had the other night.
Well, she can explode anytime. She's so talented.
Diggins-Smith back to Turner. And it ends up in Courtney Vandersloot's hands.
Well, that was the right play. Skylar did a nice pass on that, and Turner just missed it, and because the weak side defense by Chicago, and Allie Quigley, she's got the touch.
And Sandy Brondello calls a timeout as her team is now down 13. So the Sky rolling with a big lead here and 7.5 minutes left. And as you mentioned, you look at the different numbers, and the first thing that jumps out at you when you're looking for reasons why Chicago's had this turnaround, you look at the rebound. They've gone from about dead even to +8 in a very short period of time.
Well, and Hebert has come off the bench with 7, and Stevens has come off the bench with 8, and Copper's got 6. So, I mean, everybody is just crashing the boards, and the bench has been very active for them.
Griner backs down Dufall and scores.
And she got really nice position and not too far underneath the basket.
And all those players that Ann mentioned, a lot of those minutes being distributed because Stephanie Dolson's been on the bench, but she's coming back in at the next dead ball. Quigley. And the rebound to Turner. Diggins-Smith gets the hoop, and she'll go to the line.
And she needed that. That was her first basket in the second half with 6:54 left to go in the game, and Vandersloot gets up in the air and cannot let Skylar get that shot off, a circus shot, but she is left-handed.
Vandersloot's 3rd foul. Skylar 80% at the line this year coming into this game. Now she's 2 for 2 on the night. And indeed, Dolson is back in.
Well, and James Wade has the luxury of having Dolson and 4 players that can rotate down low. And then you got a leaper like Copper.
And you got Hebert who can score inside too.
Yeah, Hebert got a lot of time last year with Dolson out. And as a rookie, she really got her game going.
Griner the rebound to keep it in the Phoenix offensive end.
And see, right there, I think Turner should have taken that shot. It's a nice play and a good drive by Megan Walker, but Turner's got to be more offensive-minded.
Hebert shoots it over Griner, and Griner impacted that shot for sure.
And Griner can afford to be aggressive. She only has one foul.
Right. Turner draws the foul, didn't get the shot, but she got the contact, and Stephanie Dolson has picked up her 5th foul.
Well, the other thing is, too, when you're aggressive and penetrate, you may not make the shots, but if you miss, hopefully you give your teammates an opportunity to rebound the ball if somebody's rebounding. But the second thing is you get your opponent in foul trouble. And they change defensively with the mindset. Because if I've got 4 or 5 fouls, I'm going to back off a little bit.
Now, as you said, James Wade with a lot of options, so he goes back to Stevens as Dolson has to go back to the bench. And the Chicago lead down to 6 off the 2 free throws by Turner.
Good help by Turner.
Vandersloot drops it for Hebert.
Good rotation on the defense.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that Sandy Brondello talked about is the trust. Especially on the defensive end, the players have to be able to rotate and help each other out. Kind of a broken play right now.
Walker. They got to hurry. Turner lobs it for Griner, a bit short. Hebert takes it away. And turnover number 13 by the Mercury as a jumper is good by Diamond DeShields. Like you said, she could get it going at any time.
Well, she's wide open. It's a free throw, and nobody stopped her. And for the Mercury, all they need to do is get a few stops and a big bucket by Skylar Diggins-Smith. Staying aggressive.
They call that on Azure Stevens. And here is that move by Skylar Diggins-Smith.
Yeah, now 17 points she's worked her way up to. She's being very aggressive now, 7 of 13 from the floor.
On Stevens, that's her 2nd foul.
And Skylar's teammates have talked about how much they've enjoyed not only watching her play, but being able to play with her because she is so aggressive and she finishes shots. She's not afraid to go in there.
Stevens to Vandersloot. Back to Stevens, and it's too high. And the Mercury get it back on Chicago's 12th turnover of the night.
Yeah, Sloot made a nice crossover and thought she had the lob, but it was a little bit too high.
Griner sets a screen for Skylar Diggins-Smith. Walker, short. Diggins-Smith, a floater in the lane, and it's a 3-point game.
Yeah, she does a great job with that floater shot, but the big offensive rebound by Breezy Turner, her 6th.
Skylar Diggins-Smith with 20 points after 24 points on Tuesday night in Chicago. Stevens. DeShields as the shot clock winds down, and the Mercury will just let that go out of bounds.
And you mentioned the Mercury have 3 players in double figures, and the Sky only have 1, and that's Copper with 14 points. But they've got 9 players that have scored.
Turner Into the corner to Walker, and her pass is kicked out of bounds by DeShields.
Well, that's a break, and James Wade is saying no, it went off Phoenix, but they're going to keep it with the Mercury. But you know, Turner again wide open, and you can see the defense lays off her.
Quigley comes back in for DeShields. Kia Nurse loses it for a moment. A scramble for the loose ball, and a jump ball will be called.
I'm always fascinated, Jeff, with the jump ball. When somebody jumps on you, is that not a foul?
Yeah,
I mean, it's the and it's a tough call, I know, for the officials. But sometimes I see a jump ball when it's a very quick, where two people are standing and holding it, or then they hold it forever and there's no call called. But when you go down on the ground and somebody jumps on you,
it's clearly contact, obviously.
And everybody calls it different, too.
Nurse and Dufall will jump it at the Mercury free throw line. And Vandersloot controls it for Chicago. It was a 1-point game Tuesday night. It's a 3-point game with 3 minutes to go here. And Dufall.
Quigley did a nice job getting the ball, and Dufall so long.
Dufall getting the pass, converting the hoop to make it a 5-point game.
Oh, good hesitation by Skyler.
And Diggins Smith again. Now she's got 22 for the game. Dufall hands it to Copper. Back down low to Stevens. It's blocked and grabbed by Brittany Griner.
Well, that was a great switch, because Griner got over there and just stopped Chicago. Looks like it's going to go back to Chicago.
So we're coming down to the wire again. But what else is new between the Mercury and Chicago Sky? A 3-point Chicago lead, 2 minutes to go. Oh, here we go again, Ann. We had a down-to-the-wire finish Tuesday night in Chicago, and it looks like that's the way this is going to end up here tonight in Phoenix.
And they just showed the score of the Suns-Laker game. About 30 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Suns are up 20. So if that doesn't inspire the Mercury to win at home.
Got the X Factor fired up, that's for certain. Vandersloot out top. And Dufall with a three that doesn't go. Turner the rebound. And the Mercury could potentially go for the tie, this time down the floor. Griner. And a whistle. There was a lot of contact as Griner was double teamed.
Well,
Dufall picks up the personal.
I like the move that BG had. She had an inside pivot where she faced the defense rather than turning her back on it.
Chicago's over the team foul limit, so Griner gets 2 free throws. And again, an outstanding free throw shooter. And sure enough.
That's the second time you did that.
I know.
What is wrong with you?
I know.
Well, she's 0 for 2, and again, we talked in the first half about her ability to get to the free throw line. And she misses all 3 of them.
Yeah, that hurts there.
Yeah, the Mercury 8 of 12 from the free throw line, 12 of 14 for the Chicago Sky.
Their Sky just about at their season average from the line.
I mean, that was a great opportunity for the Mercury to go ahead, and they get a big defensive rebound.
Off the Dufall miss, and Walker can't quite convert it.
Yeah, she
and
tried
Quigley fouled in backcourt.
Yeah, she tried to go underneath it. And the interesting thing, too, sometimes when the defense is coming running at you, players don't know how, or they're not taught, and they don't use it enough, is a 2-foot jump stop. And because the heat from the defense is they're running down your back, and they think that you're going to put the ball up right away, which the majority of players do. But all you have to do is do a ball fake, 2-foot jump stop, they fly right by you.
Second foul on Skylar Diggins-Smith. As we approach 1 minute to go in Phoenix. Copper, short, rebound Griner, and another chance for the Mercury to try to get this game even. Nurse's pass knocked away, Griner saves it. Diggins-Smith was fouled in the lane, but the shot doesn't go.
Well, what a break for the Mercury, because they did not look good. And one of the other things, too, you not only telegraph the pass, but you try and throw over the top. Well, everybody's got their hands up. And so the Mercury were very fortunate that the ball did come back to them. And Diggins-Smith taking advantage, going in the lane where she's done such a great job. And she's gotten herself to the free throw line. This will be number 4 and 5.
First foul on Allie Quigley. Mercury have 2 timeouts left. And James Wade, I believe, has picked up a technical foul.
Well, I don't know what was said.
Or was it Vandersloot?
I think you called it.
The official looked right at James Wade. This for the tie. No, they called it, according to our stat monitor, the technical is on Courtney Vandersloot.
Well, and the X Factor is very happy about that. James Wade wants an explanation, but
Chicago takes a timeout.
Well, the Mercury have done a pretty good job on Vandersloot, who's been held in check 33 minutes. She's 2 of 9 from the floor, 1 of 4 from three-point range, has not gotten to the free throw line. She's got 8 assists, and which is what she's averaging, just over 8 assists, and the 3 rebounds and the 5 points. But again, 2 players now for the Sky in double figures, which is Copper and Dufall. Dufall's come in at 11 points, 4 rebounds.
Mercury have 2 team fouls, so they've got one they can burn here if they so choose. It's a little early, even still, with 37 seconds to go, to worry about fouling somebody.
Yeah, and I think that you just play solid defense. I mean, 24 seconds, it gives you another, 13.6 seconds to get the ball back. But the biggest thing is not to foul. Don't put them on the free throw line. But as you said, they've got to foul to give, but you don't want to waste that.
On the other side of things, as we mentioned, the Sky's over the team foul limit. Sky has Stevens, Vandersloot, Copper, DeShields, and Quigley. Mercury, Turner, Walker, Diggins-Smith, Griner, and Kia Nurse. Stevens to Quigley. DeShields. Doesn't get it. Griner the board. And a timeout, Phoenix.
DeShields, a great opportunity. I thought the Sky did a nice job running the offense. They cleared things out. She looked like she had a wide open layup. Probably had some contact. And can't finish it. But what a break for the Mercury.
Well, I'll tell you, this is, it's amazing how these games have been so similar to one another. We had the last second shot by Kia Nurse on Tuesday night in Chicago. Now we're going down to a final possession tonight. I think it's safe to say these two teams are evenly matched.
Well, I think this whole league. And
yes.
Right now, Seattle and Connecticut are the cream of the crop, but also Vegas and Christ, Liberty have been playing well, and
yes.
Washington. I mean, everybody's playing really well. And so the matchups are good, and a lot of it has to do with the matchups. I think the Mercury have played pretty good defense in this fourth quarter. The fact that Chicago has not doing what they did in the third quarter. They're not quite as aggressive, and they've been called for fouls.
And they can't foul here because they're over the team foul limit, and that would put the Mercury at the free throw line. And there is a little difference between the game and the possession clock. Diggins-Smith holds it there as you see the game clock at 10 seconds. Diggins-Smith didn't get it. And a timeout, Chicago. It'll be a full timeout. Now you get to start thinking about your different options. You don't. You don't have much of an opportunity to respond. So here we go. Dolson, by the way, is back on the floor with 5 fouls. It'll be DeShields to inbound it. Walker guards the inbound. And Chicago took a look at things and decided to take another timeout. This one will be a 20.
Yeah,
that'll leave them with 1 22nd timeout. The Mercury has a 22nd timeout to use.
Yeah, the Sky just kind of figuring out what the Mercury were going to do on the defensive end, but the Mercury doing a nice job also in not allowing that pass to get in. The Sky have played in an overtime game this year at home against LA, which they lost by 3, 79-82. And this is a very low-scoring game. 61-71 was the first matchup against LA that the Sky lost.
Now this time it'll be Copper to inbound it. It was DeShields before the timeout. And it's Vandersloot, and it's not close. And we're going to play 5 more minutes of basketball.
Now, good defense by the Mercury, and what a comeback.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out. They did a terrific job of guarding against Vandersloot as you watch this final play of regulation.
Well, they did a good job switching, and they had long arms making it difficult for her to get the shot off.
So we'll catch our breath and play 5 more minutes of basketball right after this break. Start the overtime, and Copper misses a 3, and the rebound to Megan Walker. Jeff Munn and Myers Drysdale. And what do you know, another close game between the Sky and Mercury. Each team gets back 3 timeouts to take into the overtime period. Griner knocks down the 17-footer.
Well, she missed those early in the game, and the shot clock was running down. Nice pass.
Double-double tonight for Griner. Dolson with a shot in the lane. And remember, Dolson is playing with 5 fouls.
You know, their bigs are in foul trouble. And so for the Mercury with this time, you'd like to see them get inside and try and create a foul.
Pass too high for Walker, and it goes out of bounds.
Yes.
17th turnover for Phoenix this evening.
Stevens did a good job as far as riding Turner and forcing her to make a bad pass.
The Shields will inbound it to Vandersloot. And there's a three by Courtney Vandersloot to put Chicago on top.
Yeah, she's been so quiet. That's only the third field goal she's made, her second three.
To go with 9 assists.
Yeah, just great aggressive defense by the Chicago Sky. And, you know, when you've got that kind of pressure defense, you got to look for back doors. And you got to come up and set a back pick.
Another turnover there. Walker lost the ball off her foot and just couldn't chase it down.
You know, these two turnovers, and even off the jump ball that the Mercury lost that tip.
And even if she had chased it down, it was going to be an over and back. Stevens, who had a big third quarter for Chicago. Dolson drives on Griner and scores. And Phoenix with a timeout, as Chicago stretches their lead back out to 5. Dolson tonight in her first game action for the Sky, 10 points. 5 of 6 from the field, and we said 5 fouls, so her minutes, which were going to be limited anyway, first game back.
But still, what's so difficult is that you have to respect the fact that she can shoot the three-point shot, and that's what Griner did. And Griner went out there and lost her balance by just jumping a little bit, and Dolson took advantage going to the basket, and the Sky go on a 7-0 run in the overtime.
Here's a look at that shot and that drive from Dolson again.
And that was just kind of a little ball fake. And the possessions that the Mercury have had in this overtime have not been really executed as well as Sandy Brondello would like. She talked about coming into this game not only about the execution, but also the spacing.
Their one hoop has been that free throw line jumper by Griner. Diggins Smith. She knocks that down from about the free throw line.
I did a nice job using the screen going right behind it.
25 for Skylar Diggins Smith. Copper around a Stevens screen to Vandersloot. Vandersloot all the way to the hoop. Layup is short. Nurse has got it. Down court to Walker. And Stevens the rebound.
Yeah, Walker's struggling from the floor. 3 of 11 or 3 of 12, and she's missed a lot of layups.
Vandersloot. And a whistle on the rebound. We're going the other way.
Yeah, you can see the Sky really being aggressive on the offensive glass, and Copper going over the back.
Talia Copper picks up her second foul. And with 2 minutes to go in overtime, Mercury again with a 3 would get it even. Turner out to Walker, and we are even.
Yeah, she made up for that missed layup. Big time shot. And give credit to the Mercury as far as trusting their teammates and going right back at her.
Copper.
Ooh, that's a tough
And
ball.
I think Skylar Diggins Smith was the last to touch it.
And they'll look at that one again.
That play broke down for Chicago. And they are going to go look at it. And here's another look at it for you. And
well, we got to see Skylar's expression, so maybe the officials missed it, but
they ruled that the Sky had possession. If they keep it, as you can see, 6 seconds on the shot clock, the first thing they're going to determine is who actually has the ball.
But, and you think about it, I mean, this is a game that the Sky has kind of given new life to the Mercury because Courtney Vandersloot getting called for that technical. And Skylar knocking down that free throw to tie things up.
Yes.
See Diana Taurasi in the back there, and I'm sure she's doing some therapy and whatever she can do to, knowing her, she'll try and get back as quick as she can, but it's a tough injury.
It is. Sternum. Here's a look at it again. I don't think Skylar touched it. From that angle, it didn't look like it.
Or did DeShields touch it, or did the ball go out of bounds from underneath off the pass?
And they're still looking at the monitor.
Well, it gets blocked, and there's a hand on the ball, so I don't know whether it comes off a Mercury player or a Copper. But it has to be definitive that for it to be turned.
That's the thing. You've got to have clear evidence that the call needs to be overturned.
This would be a big win for the Mercury if they can win at home in front of their X Factor fans. And then for Chicago, losing 5 in a row at home and then going on the road would be huge for them.
Yeah, we were talking about it before the game tonight. The fact that neither one of these teams has a home win yet is really evidence of the competitive balance in the WNBA this year. That road teams can go in and get wins in other people's buildings.
And they've been close games. There have been a few blowouts, but the majority of the games have been so competitive.
After official video review, the ruling on the floor has been overturned.
And they overturned it, and it is Mercury ball. And they also put a second back on the clock. So the time you see on the screen is correct at 1:28.
Now James Wade is hot, and certainly he doesn't want to get a technical.
Well, you can feel for James Wade. As we said, they haven't won a game at home. They've lost 5 straight after winning the first 2 of their season. A slew of injuries. Candace Parker is still out, yet this team is battling. Nurse puts Phoenix in front.
She did a nice job keeping her dribble and made contact with Stevens, but good balance.
Dolson goes back to Copper, back to Dolson. Quick shot in the lane.
They just use that pick and roll, and she just releases and does a great job getting the defense on her.
And we're even again with under a minute to go in overtime. Griner puts Phoenix back in front.
Good patience by the Mercury, and sometimes you'd like to get that ball a little bit lower on the perimeter because it's a tough angle when it's above the free throw line to get that pass inside to Griner when she's posting up so low.
16 and 12 tonight for Brittany Griner. Vandersloot.
Nice
and the
out.
Rebound to Turner.
Well, that was a nice job defensively. Griner was just on Dolson, and so Vandersloot could not make that pass, which normally she would do. And Vandersloot still struggling, 3 of 14. She did hit a huge three-pointer for the Sky, but 8 points. She's got her 9 assists. And the Sky shooting 35%, where the Mercury have kicked things up to 43%.
Foul was on Vandersloot. That's her 4th.
And how about three-point shots? 8 of 30 for the Sky, 5 of 14 for the Mercury.
You know, they had that stretch in the third quarter where they knocked down some threes, but the three just hasn't been a very effective part of their offense tonight. When you think about it, shooting 26% from three-point range.
Well, as you said, Chicago had that 13-point lead, but Phoenix had a 10-point lead on them, and that third quarter was huge for the Sky. I mean, they just turned things around, and the Mercury did not look good, but they have climbed right back into this game.
This is a Phoenix timeout. For what it's worth, with 8.9 seconds left, the Sky have a full and 2:20.
Well, in the fouling, certainly the Mercury want to get the ball into Skylar Diggins' hands. She's 6 of 6 from the line. Griner has struggled, as you said. She's a pretty good free throw shooter, but is 0 for 3, and Nurse is 3 of 4.
Turner's 2 of 2.
Walker has not been to the line, but boy, did she knock down a big-time three. Walker did.
Absolutely. But you're right. They would probably, Sandy Brondello wants to see the ball in Skylar Diggins-Smith's hands.
But other players cannot shy away from that, even though you think, okay, the ball, you want to get that ball to that person as when Diana Taurasi's on the floor.
Right.
But there's other capable players on this team that have to have the confidence to want it.
Nurse will inbound it. Goes to Diggins-Smith, and the foul immediately on Copper.
I like the release of Breezy Turner in the back court. If they needed that release to pass it back there, would have taken some time off the clock.
So as Ann mentioned, Diggins-Smith, strong night at the line so far. That high arcing free throw, and she knocks down the first. 24-point game Tuesday, 28 and counting here tonight. And Vandersloot has the rebound and a timeout. Chicago, a 3-point game in 6.3 seconds. Plenty of time for the Sky to get a good look.
Oh, absolutely. And free throw shooting is so important, and this is a Mercury team that really has struggled this year. They only shoot 75.4%. And in crucial times, it's not going to get it done.
No.
They're now 12 of 17, and the Sky are 12 of 14. And Vandersloot's up to 9 assists.
Copper leads Chicago in scoring with 14. As we mentioned, Skylar Diggins-Smith with 28. Griner a double-double, 16 points, 12 rebounds. But
Turner is just one
come down
rebound away.
to one possession here.
Well, we'll see if they use that pick and roll with Dolson.
Vandersloot to inbound it. And Quigley grabs it, back to Vandersloot. And the three doesn't go, and the Mercury comes out of it with their first home win of the year.
And Walker did a nice job on the block out just to get that rebound, too, for Nurse. And what a big home win for the Mercury.
Here's a look at the final possession.
Well, you always want to look at the person throwing the ball in, and that was Sloot. She got it back. She had a good look, and it doesn't go in for her. And certainly the Mercury, a sigh of relief.
And just as was the case Tuesday night, and the Mercury rally late. Certainly the technical called on Vandersloot, as you pointed out, really inspired the Mercury and their fans. They responded. Diggins-Smith hit the free throw to tie the game, and they end up winning it in overtime. And you talked about the three-point shooting, that Chicago struggled from three-point range. You talked about the strong night at the free throw line for the Mercury, especially in the case of Skylar Diggins-Smith going 7 for 8. This was another game, much like Tuesday night in Chicago, where the Mercury had to dig deep, and they come out of it with a 3-point win.
They did it, and the starting five really did it. There was a little help from the bench, but not any scoring from the bench whatsoever for the Mercury. But I thought the Sky, they got everybody involved, not only scoring-wise, but rebounding, and they were contributing in a lot of different ways. But give credit to the Mercury. I mean, they stayed strong, as you said, down 13, and they just edged their way back in.
And obviously the Sky struggling, 6 consecutive losses, but they get Candace Parker back.